Good afternoon, everybody. I am student meteorologist Justin Williams here to give you your North Georgia weather forecast. But first, let's take a moment and admire this picture here. The sun's trying to set, mostly cloudy skies here in Athens. As a result, our temperatures have been pretty modest today, floating around in the mid to low 70s. We have peaked in the upper 70s here and there, but right now 73 degrees here in Athens. And as we go into tonight, mostly cloudy skies are going to be remaining for much of North Georgia. Those temperatures are going to be plummeting down into the upper to mid 50s for much of North Georgia. And this is what we could expect going into tomorrow. So those clouds are going to be sticking around tonight, but not a whole lot's going to be happening tomorrow until later in the day, like really late. Starting out Thursday at 8:30 a.m. during your commute, we could have a few bundles of clouds, mostly cloudy skies here and there across North Georgia. And as we go into the beginning of the day, partly to clear skies for much of us here in North Georgia. But by the end of the day, after dinner, we could be seeing some of these clouds starting to float on back into North Georgia. And this is when some of those Halloween festivities are going to be trying to make their way on out, fortunately. So most of those Halloween activities are going to be fading out before some of this rain starts making its way through, unless you're still trick-or-treating at 2:30 a.m. up there in Northwest Georgia. That's when some of that rain could be making its way. That's when some of us could be seeing the first storms of the day here. We're going into tomorrow night. And as we go into the next couple hours of Friday night or Thursday night, you can see those storms try to dissipate a little bit, but really bringing us mostly scattered showers for much of the day Thursday or Friday morning, leaving us with some pretty cloudy skies on Friday. And as a result, tomorrow's high 79 degrees, partly cloudy skies during the first part of the day, but we're going to be clouding back up going into the later part, going into Thursday night. For your Halloween night, most of that rain should be clearing on out, though, fortunately, making out for a pretty nice night. Enjoy the graphic here. It's going to be pretty nice. Humble temperatures sitting in the 70s right now. But as we go into the later parts of the night, 69 degrees by the time those trick-or-treating activities should be starting to wrap on up here. It's going to be a nice one. You're not going to be sweating too much in your costumes, that's for sure. As we go into your football forecasts, you might be sweating a little bit if you're going down to Jacksonville, Florida to watch the Dogs take on Florida. Starting out 77 degrees at 3:30 at kickoff, but as we go into halftime, we could be seeing those temperatures starting to rise a little bit on into the 80s, 80 degrees by halftime. Then by postgame, we're going to be decreasing on down into the mid to upper 70s. It's going to be a nice day Saturday down there in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're going down, mostly sunny skies for much of the game. 7-day forecast, here we go. So Halloween, you could be seeing some showers towards the later part of the day, but most of that should not be affecting your Halloween activities. But Friday, the earlier, the better in terms of rain. And the more north you are in the region, that's going to be your biggest concern. The more north you are, a little bit more rain you could get, but mostly scattered conditions Friday, with highs floating around in the 80s for the weekend. Before that cold front pushes through, brings us some cooler temperatures in terms of highs, floating around in the 70s, and that's going to be your story as we go into next week, with highs in the mid to upper 70s and lows in the upper 50s. Once again, I am student meteorologist Justin Williams. Have a good one, guys, and go Dogs.